everyone, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where it's time, at last, for the Royal Banquet here in Ul'dah, to celebrate our victory at the Battle of Ishgard, and to hopefully welcome Ishgard into the Eorzean Alliance. Before we begin, it's time for our daily minion roulette. Wait! What about not a roulette today? Today is a special banquet, a very special event. So let's pick a very specific minion. Well, since it is a banquet hosted by the lovely Nanamo Namo, I always do that, why don't we have a minion of Nanamo herself? It just feels appropriate. I don't know, it feels right to have a wind-up Nanamo. I wanted to have a specific minion for this specific quest. I actually wasn't sure which minion I wanted to have. There's so many options. But I know I wanted to, today did not feel like a day where it felt right to have a random minion selected by the roulette. Today I wanted to pick something that's appropriate, something specific. I just didn't have any ideas for a specific minion, and the best one I have is Nanamo, but I think it makes a lot of sense. I mean, after all, we're having a banquet right in the Royal Hall of Ul'dah where Nanamo rules. I can't think of anything more appropriate if I want to go for something specific for this one. Alright, Momodi, it's time for the parting glass. Judging by Momodi's grin, our star could not rise any higher. Would you believe that while you were away, another message arrived for you? Well, one did. One delivered by the Sultana's handmaiden, no less. Seems Her Grace desires a private audience. Her handmaiden will meet you on the royal promenade and escort you to the Sultana's chambers. So what are you waiting for? Go on then, go! Alright, so we're meeting with the Sultana directly before the feast.
You needn't trouble yourself so. Your Grace is most kind, but it is no trouble to me, rather an honor. If your Grace is ready, I shall summon the Warrior of Light. I am.
Everyone looks to be in high spirits.
With good cause.
A common victory may serve to unite even the most unlikely of allies. You've brought us one step closer to a united Eorzea.
Your modesty knows no bounds, Antecedent. Were it not for your efforts, Sir Emmerich would never have become such a steadfast ally. When he convinces his countrymen to rejoin the Alliance, we shall all reap the benefits, military and economic. I tell you, we are on the cusp of a new era of unity and prosperity. Territorial disputes are all that divide us now. But I have faith that we will find an amicable solution in time. And failing that, I'll have my trusty Warrior of Light box the ears of all concerned. Speaking of whom...
She will be joining us shortly. A matter at the quicksand required her attention, but it did not sound serious.
Alright. On to the Royal Promenade. Let's go meet with the Lady in Waiting and go meet with Nanamo Ul'Namo. And then I'm sure after that's done, we'll be able to head on to the feast. But first, we're going to be meeting with the Sultana herself. That is a huge honor. All right. Hello there, lady in waiting. I believe I am ready. Oh goodness, how did auto-walk get turned on? Let's head out. Thank you for coming, madam. Her Grace is most eager to speak with you. If you require a moment to compose yourself before your audience, you may have it, or if you are ready, it would be my honor to escort you to Her Grace's chambers forthwith. This is the first time that this notice happens. This was added, I believe, retroactively, after complaints. Several cutscenes will play in sequence. As a general rule from here on out, whenever there's going to be a good number of cutscenes in sequence, they will let you know. Because they don't want you to be locked into major cutscenes, and then, oh hey, a duty finder popped, or oh hey, you have to go do something urgently elsewhere. They're gonna start giving us the heads up that hey, it's gonna be a little bit long from here. It is recommended that we set aside sufficient time to view these scenes in their entirety. In this case, I would say probably, if I'm remembering correctly, 40 minutes for the banquet. Let's head onwards.
Enter. Your Grace, your guest has arrived. Pray, come in and take your ease.
"'Tis well that the steps of faith held against the Horde."
And what of the city proper?
We sustained some few losses, but the heart of our nation yet beats with vigor. I am not certain I could say the same had we not received your most generous aid.
An attack on Ishgard is an attack on the realm. We stand together or fall divided.
Such noble words after the fact.
I had hoped to speak in the presence of Her Grace, but it seems she has been delayed. That being the case, now would seem as good a time as any. Honored friends, pray allow me to convey Ishgard's warmest gratitude for your part in the defense of our lands. "'Tis upon the success of this very alliance that my recommendation to throw open the gates of judgment shall be founded. With the blessing of the Archbishop, it is my hope that Ishgard will soon be reunited with her long-estranged sister nations, and that Eorzea shall once more be as one."
Very well.
Is aught amiss?
Nothing to worry about. I shall return anon. You wished a word, Yu Hase?
You may go. Your Grace. You must be curious as to the reason for this private audience. The matter I would discuss, however, will soon make apparent the need for discretion. I intend to abdicate the throne and dissolve the monarchy. You have seen for yourself the storm of turmoil that howls through our streets. The government fails in its responsibilities, and my subjects suffer the consequences of our incompetence. But I will see them suffer no longer. The victory feast shall provide the stage on which I declare the dissolution of the Sultanate. 'Tis mine intent that the ruling class of our golden city should take its place beside the common man in a fair and equitable republic. No more shall this nation bow to the whims of a privileged few. Yet, that which I propose will entail the tearing up of this city's very foundations. And even Roban, with all his strength and influence, will be hard-pressed to keep his footing on such treacherous ground. Thus would I ask you to lend him a steadying hand. You who have endured the wrath of innumerable foes are the one hero in whom I can place my trust. Will you do this thing for me? I am truly grateful. More grateful than I can well express. Much of my dread for the coming days has been quieted.
Your Grace! Her Grace, the Sultana, is dead. Poison in her wine? You did this!
Spare us your denials! I see no other suspects, and the room has but the one entrance. I hereby accuse you of regicide. Men, arrest this viper.
Sir, barring a few exceptions, we have detained all those with allegiance to the Scions. The Rising Stones is also under our control.
And what do you hope to achieve with this mutiny?
Why, that which we have striven for all along, Commander. The salvation of Eorzea.
What is the meaning of this?
Knights from the homeland. This cannot bode well.
Lord Commander, we have received an urgent message from the Holy See. I am grieved to report that your serpentine foes have resumed their assault. Needless to say, your presence is urgently required. These knights have come to bear you swiftly home to Ishgard.
A surprise attack?
We've had no such word from our men, and the timing is most fortuitous to catch us away from the city.
Most fortuitous indeed.
Lord Commander, we must away!
You have been a most gracious host. I hope that I might one day return the favor. Come, Lucia.
Whatever is going on in there? Ah, the ever-dutiful brass blades. I must apologize, but my dance card is rather full. Another time, perhaps?
Thancred, of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. You stand accused of committing acts of espionage in service to the Garlean Empire.
Espionage? What in the seven hells are you talking about? Ah, if you're referring to that business with the Ultima weapon, then you must understand, I wasn't myself.
Under interrogation, an Imperial prisoner revealed your involvement in numerous dealings with the enemy. We've also been investigating reports that you are a practitioner of forbidden arts. You'd best come along with us.
You invite me to your party and now you want me to leave? I do so detest receiving mixed signals. Come then. I believe I've lost my appetite for this farce of a celebration.
You go too far, Lord Adeleji. By what right do you march armed soldiers into a royal banquet and eject state visitors without her grace's consent? You treat the brass blades as your personal army and show contempt for the throne with your every act. Leave us, now.
Is that an order, General? Mayhap you have mistaken me for one of your flames. You will find I am not so slavishly obedient. And you lecture me on personal armies. As for your outrageous claim that I have shown contempt for the throne, let all here observe that it was not I who feasted while an assassin removed its occupant. I expect this is your idea of defending the nation, is it? This and diluting our forces through these distractions in Cartano and Kurthis. I do begin to see how the ranks of the immortal flames came to be riddled with Garlean sympathizers. You are plainly unfit for command.
Wait, goddamn you. Your words make no sense. What assassin?
You mean to say you don't know? We caught the vaunted champion of the Scions in her Grace's private chambers, not moments after the deed was done.
No! No, this cannot be!
Save your breath. You will need it to plead your case. You and your entire order are to be tried for this atrocity. Bring in the prisoner!
This woman stands accused of poisoning Her Royal Majesty Nanamu ul Namo and is suspected accessories to the crime. All members of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn will be detained for questioning.
This is madness!
What a pity. Who'd have thought your tale would end like this?
Should you demand further proof, a vial with traces of the substance used to poison Her Grace was found upon the assassin's person.
How very convenient.
You would speak of convenience? Who persuaded Her Grace to host this celebration? A diversion which presented you and your confederates ample opportunity to commit the crime, and a crowd within which to fade from view. A more convenient occasion I could scarcely imagine.
How dare you! After all we have done for Uldar!
Hold your tongue, witch! I'll not be ensorcelled! I know all about the dark gift that you and your disciples wield. Oh, yes. I've observed how you worked upon the minds of the Alliance leaders, bending them to your will. And what of your cordial relationship with Sir Emmerich? For years, Ishgard abjured all contact with the outside world, and now the Lord Commander of the Temple Knights treats you with the familiarity of a childhood friend. I'll tell you what I think. I think this desperate defense of Ishgard was but a ruse to deceive us into dividing our forces. Your next move will be to charm your Kurthan allies into invading our lands. Now that is truly ridiculous.
How do you even think of this stuff?
She cannot be dead. Stand aside, Ilbert. I want to see the Sultana.
Spare yourself the pain, brother. I saw her with my own eyes. For a mercy, the poison took her swiftly, Her handmaiden can attest to that.
This cannot be. Nanamo. Nanamo. No!
Plainly, the Royalists can no longer be relied upon to keep our nation safe. And so it falls to the monitorists of the Syndicate to govern Uldar. But should you wish to help us, General, we would be more than happy to entrust the task of planning Her Grace's funeral to you. It seems only right that you should bury your precious Sultana, and we will be glad to be rid of that burden.
I'll bet you will. You more than any man.
Whatever do you mean?
I mean you had her killed, you black-hearted bastard!
What rot! Though I did have sufficient motive, 'tis true. That young lady caused me no end of grief. She always was a most unwilling puppet. I dare say Her Grace was grateful that someone thought to cut her strings.
You would mock her, then mock her from hell!
What?
Have you lost your mind, General? It is forbidden to draw steel in the royal chambers, much less slaughter our fellow Syndicate members. You're one of them! You've been in league with the Scions all along!
You're next, you scheming bastard!
Raban!
Seven hells!
Admiral, we must leave.
Ah!
How unlike you, old friend. I did not expect to take your arm so easily.
Take the Scions into custody. They have conspired to commit regicide. And arrest this traitor as well.
Ilbert, I hope you choke on their coin.
'Tis better than the dirt I've supped on these long years. We can't all abandon Alamigo and become great war heroes as you have. You are not the man you once were, Raban. Since that girl strapped the yoke around your neck, You've become docile. She took the mad bull and cut off his balls, and a bull that cannot rot is fit for naught but slaughter. Shall I tell you who really killed your precious Sultana? It was me.
You die! I never doubted you, not for a moment. But there is more to this than I yet understand. Flee this place. Clear your names. Find out who is behind this plot. It is the only way. Now go!
Ah, there you are.
Thancred, where have you been?
Avoiding the fumbling advances of some very persistent admirers. When I realized the celebrations had turned sour, it seemed prudent to slip away and take stock of the situation. 'Twould appear that much of the city is already under tight guard. It occurs to me that expanding the Brass Blade's authority may not have been such a wonderful idea after all.
The success of this plan was contingent upon those thugs having the run of the place. Just how long has this scheme been in motion?
The careful preparations, the maneuvering of forces. I am inclined to agree with the General's insistence that a deeper plot exists here.
So, would I be right in thinking we now have an excuse to pummel as many brass blades as we like?
Unless you plan on pummeling them all, I'm not sure that will greatly aid our cause.
The Sultana's assassination was but one part of the scheme. We too were its targets. And though we did not share Ponanamo's fate, we are yet hobbled by the charges laid at our door. Where now might we seek refuge?
Where indeed, we may safely assume that our foe has thought to have the Rising Stones watched.
Forgive me for stating the obvious, but our choice of destination will matter little if we cannot secure an escape route out of Ul'dah. Happily, I believe I can provide one. Papashan once told me about the passages hidden in the walls of the palace. If I recall correctly, the fireplace in Animo's chambers conceals the entrance to a tunnel. It should lead outside the city and allow us to avoid any messy confrontations.
The rest of you go on ahead. I'll handle this lot.
By yourself? I suppose I shall just have to join you.
Crystal Braves too, huh? Now this should be interesting.
Ida! Papalimo!
We will hold our pursuers here. Hurry, now! Find this tunnel of Thancreds.
Minfilia, we cannot linger.
Now look what you've done.
Ida, are you all right? There are just too many of them.
I'm fine. I could do this all day. How about you?
Nearing the end of my tether.
This is so stupid. We're the scions of the Seventh Dawn. The ones who stand between this realm and the evil that's trying to destroy it.
And if you think we'll leave the stewardship of Eorzea to the likes of your masters, then you're sorely mistaken.
Sorry I dragged you into this, Papalimo.
'Tis hardly the first time, and I'll be damned if it will be the last. Let them have it, Ida!
I was hoping you'd say that.
I never knew such a watercourse existed beneath Uldar.
The architecture is of the Sildine style, if I'm not mistaken. The ancients plainly foresaw the need for a ready means of escape.
This way!
Well, that didn't take long. It seems these tunnels were not as secret as I'd hoped.
You two go on ahead. Thancred and I will deal with this.
What do you mean to do?
Only that which is required to ensure that the dawn's light survive to brighten the morrow.
Fear not, antecedent. You haven't seen the last of these fair features.
My friends.
Leave us!
What is the plan, milady? Shall I take the dozen on the left and you the dozen on the right? The odds are not exactly stacked in our favor.
Numbers will count for little when I bring the tunnel down upon their heads. Though I cannot say I relish the thought of being entombed with you for all eternity.
You wound me. I will have you know that many a maid would kill for the chance to spend forever at my side. Now, may I have the last dance? Well, this is going splendidly. Now would be a good time, milady!
"'Tis done! Forgive me, Mitra.
Farewell, Minfilia.
Hydaelyn, she speaks to me. No. I must remain behind, but you cannot stay with me. Please, you must go on. You are the warrior of light. You are hope for the Scions and for all the realm. As long as your flame continues to burn, the light of the dawn may ever be relit. You must escape and save Eorzea from those who would plunge it into darkness. "'Tis the only way."
I am glad to see you safe, my friend. What of the others? Damn that man! Teleji played me for a fool! I thought the Crystal Brave's mine till the very moment I felt the blade at my back.
There will be ample time for soul-searching later. For now, we must put some arms between us and Ul'dah.
Well, would you look who it is? Need a ride? I doubt it'll be half as exciting as the last trip we took. Not if I have anything to say about it anyway. Let's not dawdle, eh? All aboard! I was stocking up on supplies over in Vesper Bay, you see, when your sister come up and begged a favour. Said her brother was having some trouble down in Ul'dah and likely needed a helping hand getting away. Thinking them ruins would make a fine hiding place, I decided to try there first. And lo and behold, there you were. Aye, and judging by them soldiers as were pouring out of the city, I arrived not a moment too soon. Ha! Must have been fate that we happened to find you there, though, eh?
I had thought to look out for Alize, but 'twould appear she was the one watching over me. I've made such a mess of things.
And who might you be, young sir?
Pippin Taropin, Vice Marshal of the Immortal Flames. I had been on the Alamegan front these past few moons, but an urgent communication called me back to Ul'dah. Scarce had my boots touched the cobbles, though, when the streets erupted with cries of assassination. I immediately went in search of answers, and came across Master Alfino here. Needless to say, I did not think his imprisonment justified. The blame plainly lies with the Monetarists. Their greed and corruption are well known to me, but for them to take advantage of the situation with such alacrity...
Was that Pippin, you said? Ain't that the name of General Alden's lad?
Yes, I am his son. Adopted, of course. 'Twas only as we were leaving Ul'dah that I learned of father's fate. Once I have seen you a safe distance away, I mean to return to the city and extricate him from this madness.
Then you needn't travel no further than Blackbrush. Our fugitives have a friend waiting for them there.
I dreamed of bringing about Eorzea's salvation, but in the end... 'Twas I who needed saving.
Them soldiers will keep searching for a while yet. Reckon we'll take the carriage back towards Ul'dah and get the lay of the land. Maybe provide a distraction if need be. You three wait here. Help will be along shortly. Stay strong, friends. The real fight's to come. Alright, let's go. I gotta say, it was very, very painful when we had finally apprehended Wayu, and Ilberd told her to her face, "I would rather cut off my own left arm than betray a friend." Well, it sure seems that Ilberd has betrayed a friend by cutting off said friend's left arm. Thank you, Ilberd, you piece of shit, you fucking asshole, I fucking hate you, you awful man! Odd coincidence, I have two people sitting right next to me as like the cutscene. Anyways. That was the bloody banquet. Let's get the fuck out of here. Thank you, Alisaie. How could I have been so blind? We'll get through this, Alphino. Oh god, we sure did lose all of the Scions, huh? Fuck. The most unassuming folk can prove to be our greatest allies. That fellow was but a passing merchant, yet he let us aid without a moment's hesitation, or any hint of concern for his own safety. Though I can well imagine how a man could feel inspired to risk all in your presence. Father spoke often of you, Satora, and long have I looked forward to our first meeting. Needless to say, this is not at all how I envisioned it. Seriously, thank you so much, Pippin. Oh my goodness. What? Few things to say. One, badass of you to arrive in the city, hear the Sultana was assassinated, and immediately go and free Alphino thinking, this doesn't seem right. It's clearly the capitalists at fault here, not Alphino. Two, it's really painful to me that Ilberd did this because he believed that Raubahn had abandoned Ala Mhigo. And yet Pippin here was on the front lines in Ala Mhigo. Raubahn had not abandoned Ala Mhigo. His hands were somewhat tied by having to serve Ul'dah first, unfortunately, in his position as commander of the Immortal Flames. But Pippin was on the front lines in Ala Mhigo. He was doing what he could. It's not like Ala Mhigo was completely abandoned. That said, oh my god, the Eorzean Alliance needs to get its fucking shit together. Because Ala Mhigo needs help, and Ishgard needs help, and we all need fucking help here. And oh my god. Anyways, thank you, Pippin. Nice to meet you. Master Alphino, you must not give in to despair. That would only play into our enemy's hands. So long as you and Satora are free, we may still set things right. Forgive me, Marshal Tarapin, but Alphino, my boy, sorry to keep you waiting. Cid, what are you doing here? Pulling you out of the fire as usual. Your merchant friend told me everything. Truly, then he is no merchant but an angel in peddler's clothing. But tell us, how do you intend to bear our friends to safety? I hid the Enterprise but a short distance away. All I need is the destination. We must find a place beyond the reach of both the Monitarists and the Crystal Braves. Kurthus, Ishgard will not suffer the intrusion of foreign forces in their territory. That settles it. With me, everyone. Not I fear. I must remain here. I dare not abandon Ul'dah to the Monitarists and their cronies. You may be certain they will seek to defame you, both here and in the other city-states. But know that I shall do my utmost to thwart their every effort. Frankly, I do not expect it to be much of a challenge. The small folk will not turn so easily on the Warrior of Light and her allies, no matter what the Monitarists claim. Marshal Tarapin, I know not what to say. Ha! Now that Father would labor to believe. But enough talk. You must go, Master Alphino. Your airship awaits. Up, up. There's no rest for the righteous. We should make for Camp Dragonhead and speak with Lord Harshaphant. Mayhap he will know what to do. Well, on the bright side, we made it. Alright. To Camp Dragonhead and safety. What a low point we found ourselves in. So I've been mentioning Satora's roleplay portion of the story. I think it's important to write your Warrior of Light and your character and figure out what their story is, because it's a roleplay game. Get in on the fun. Have some fun with your OCs. So, I have mentioned several details about Satora. One, she has been in horrible grief recently. What with losing Graha and Moonbrita and all the stress she's been under from everything and yada yada yada. Also, pleasantly, remember, I've mentioned this once or twice, her two younger sisters, Pokey and Lo, Pokelancy and Lolancy, both joined the Crystal Braves to follow in her footsteps. Let me see, do I remember? Pokey, I believe, is nope, Pokey's the Lancer and Lo is the Archer of the pair. So, while Satora does not know this yet, and she will learn between A Realm Reborn and Heavensward, she will learn this, she will receive the news. When the Crystal Braves took the Rising Stones, I believe Lo was able to escape. Pokey gave her life to protect Lo. Satora does not know that one of her sisters is dead at the hands of the Crystal Braves. I'm a big sucker for drama. It's fun. It's fun to write drama. Anyways, yeah. So Lo escaped. Pokey died, if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah, that sounds right. And Satora's gonna learn soon, during the break between Heavensward and A Realm Reborn. And given that her sisters joined the Crystal Braves to follow in her footsteps, she's not having a great time. Hi, Alphino. Lord Harshaphant has agreed to grant us succor. He says that we will be safe here. Good. Good. Hi, Harshaphant. Hi. Master Alphino told me your tale, Satora. It warms my heart that you should turn to me before all others, and I shall endeavor to deserve your trust. Alas, the situation here has grown more complicated in your absence. It would be best if I explained in full. Oh, good. Just absolutely wonderful. Next time on Final Fantasy XIV. The finale. The final quest of A Realm Reborn. Before the Dawn. I will see everyone next time for that.